Okay, I thought we'd start it off. This is the fifth fly in my beginning fly tying class. It is the beadhead prince nymph. It's been around a while. It has some neat stuff about it, but so what we're going to start off is we have a 2x long nymph hook with a brass bead or a tungsten bead, whatever you'd like. What I'm going to do now is take some small lead wire, which this is 0.15. I'm going to lay down a base of lead on my hook. I'll do about 10 or 12 wraps. Come in here carefully. Snip it off. I'm going to push these ends down. I'm going to now take the lead and push it into the bead. Okay, so now we have the base of lead. It's been pushed up into the bead. Now what we're going to do is take our thread and get it started. Where I'm going to start the thread is we're going to start it right behind the lead here on the bare hook shank. We're going to clip our tag in. Now what I want to do is just build a little bit of a ramp coming up onto this lead. I'm going to take my thread now and run it back to the point opposite the barb. I'm going to grab, we got two brown goose biots at our tails. And I like to tie my goose biots in one at a time, so I'm going to measure them half a hook shank long. It's a little on the long side, so I'm going to slide it up. And with tying them in one at a time, I can really focus on placing those right on the side of the hook shank. I'm going to take my second one, measure it, make sure we're in the right spot, and then I'm going to take and bind it down. Again, I'm going to go to the point opposite the barb. I'm going to run down, run and bind these down right up to the point right behind the lead. Clip them off. Lay down some more thread here. Now I'm going to take, we're going to put in the tinsel. This is just a medium embossed tinsel. You can use a gold wire. I like the tinsel because that's what the pattern calls for. I'm going to take this like we did in one of our very first couple flies. I'm going to get the tinsel. I'm going to put it right on the side of the hook. I'm going to bind it down. Okay, now I'm going to run my thread to about midpoint. And we're going to grab Mr. Peacock Curl. I'm going to grab about 4 nice strands of peacock curl. Again, just take your, make sure when you get your peacock curl that you kind of treat it and size it to your hook. Don't get real big bushy peacock curl. This is a size 16, so I've taken a minute and just looked at it, making sure not to have super bushy peacock curl. So then I'm going to take and bind my peacock curl down, run my thread to the front of the hook. Alright, so now I'm going to take and wrap my peacock curl. So I'm going to take my first wrap. The tinsel's a little bit in the way here. Oops. There we go. And then start wrapping it. right behind the bead. Now don't crowd your bead on this, and bind her down. So we got a nice fluffy little body there. Now we're going to take the tinsel, and I want to spiral wrap that forward. Maybe about 4 or 5 wraps. Bind that down. Okay, we'll come in here and make sure the. All right. So we got your body and your bead and everything all done. Now we're going to put a little bit of a hackle on this. And what I like to use on these are these whiting hen necks. Typically I like to size these 1.5 times the gap of the hook. You can use a hackle pliers, or you can do it visually. I think we got one right here. Yeah, that's alright. It's not too bad. A little big. And what we're going to do is come in and clip out. See, we're going to come in here and we'll clip out the bottom, strip off. So we have a nice tie-in point. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it in right behind the bead here. A couple good solid wraps to hold it. Okay, we grab our hackle pliers. Now what I like to do with these is I like to take my fingers, moisten them, and you're going to see me pull these barbs kind of to the back. You can be gentle because you can pull it out of the fly. And then I'm going to wrap it forward, 2 wraps. Tie that off. I'm going to take and pull this back a little bit. Just run my thread back just a little bit, and not get too carried away with thread. Okay, now we're going to take our white goose biots, take 2 of them. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to get them in my hand, and I'm going to kind of prep them in a V here. And I'm going to make sure to get the concave in what direction they're going, the same direction. I like to tie them with the concave down on them. Just trying to get these set right where I want them. Tilt my vise a little bit, set them right up on top, put my thumb on. Just a couple loose wraps to really see where I get them. And then I'm going to really crank down and bind them down. Come in here, we'll clip off the excess. And we got those 2 tag ends up here. But if you take a little bit of time, I can pretty much wrap those under with the thread. And there we go. Now we'll throw a whip finish on. Turn rip finish, tighten her up, clip our thread. I'm going to fluff up the hackle here, and there we have it. I'm going to put a drop of head cement. And there it it is.